Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the WWE Ultimate Edition Coliseum collection Ravishing Rick Rude figure from Mattel. Does this figure make Wave 2 a must-buy? Well, let's talk about that. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure looks, well, to put it simply, ravishing. And, Rick had a very basic look, because that was kind of the thing. And it totally works here. They completely nailed it. I mean, obviously proportions, the physique, like they absolutely killed it here. And, that's awesome because that's basically the main part of the look. Beyond that, we also have the tampograph for the tattoo on the right arm. Then we just get the, trunks with that purple, magenta, and black, just done very, very cleanly all around. And then the boots with that nice shade of pink. And then we have Simply and Ravishing on the sides of each, which is fantastic. Again, just clean details all around. And then the face sculpt, this is actually not the default one, but it worked best for that pose. But still, again, just like with Jake, pretty much almost head scan quality, even though obviously they couldn't get a head scan of him from the 80s. So yeah, just absolutely fantastic. And the aesthetics here are definitely a 10. A great loadout of accessories as to be expected. So let's jump right in. And starting with hands, so right out of the box, we get our standard C grips. Then we get, pardon me, a pair of kind of grasping hands. I get a pair of, I guess, kind of chopping hands with obviously fingers together, somewhat relaxed. And then finally a pair of fists. And then we get 3 head sculpts. So we actually looked at one of these already, but right out of the box, we kind of get just the more kind of straightforward stoic look. Not too much of an expression, really, I guess a non-expression. Then we get the one we just saw in the last section, which is that kind of sly smile that he would give often. So, and then finally we get the kind of duck lips face. Done really well. It's a little subtle, and at first I wasn't sure what this was supposed to be, but you can definitely see it there. So that's pretty cool. And then we get finally his entrance robe, and this is beautifully done. As you can see, lots of shininess. You can see Simply Ravishing there on the back with the lips. Little random, or somewhat random, like shimmery effects going on there with the silver spots, and then we get the silver trim here at the top. And also a way to tie it with this ribbon. So yeah, really excellently done. And that's accessories. Articulation is positively beautiful in many respects that we'll get into, but starting off, as you can see, we can hold a freestanding kick very easily. Actually, this took no time to get into, so something I always love to see. So yeah, balance is just absolutely on point. Then for articulation, we have our barbell joint in the head. So we're not really looking down too much because of how far in they sculpted the chin. And back, we do get a little bit more. The hair, is a little more pliable on Rick than it was Jake. So you get a little bit of up, and then you get some really nice side to side. Come to the arms, we get butterfly joints. All of the articulation for this particular figure too is like buttery smooth. It's just definitely a joy to pose. So we get our T-pose there. So we got the hinge and swivel at the delt. We have bicep swivel, double jointed elbows bring us all the way in half. Hinge and swivel at the wrist, all horizontal. We get our barbell at the diaphragm, and this gives us actually a little bit of a deeper crunch than we've seen on pretty much any WWE figure, but certainly the Ultimate Editions. So usually I really like this articulation scheme, but we don't usually get that deep of a crunch, which is nice. And that also gives us some nice arch back, and of course some side to side as well, so there's lots of room in this particular sculpt. We do also have a waist swivel, and then we come down to the hips, and we do have our drop downs as we have been getting now with the newer Elite molds, Ultimate Edition molds, and that gives us full splits. That also allows us to kick completely into a 90 degree, so that's always welcome. We get thigh swivel, double jointed knees, bringing us almost completely in half, boot swivel, and then, pardon me, we get perfect point. Some actually very nice forward, a toe joint, and then a little bit of rocker as well. Actually, very, very generous rocker. for Ultimate Edition. So yeah, that's articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other WWE figures, with some other wrestling lines, with Hasbro and some Mattel, with some imports, with some monsters. Finally, with Articulated Icons Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valorverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the WWE Ultimate Edition Coliseum Collection Ravishing Rick Rude figure is that this absolutely rules. And to answer my question from the beginning of the video, like absolutely this is worth a 2-pack worth picking up. The whole wave is great. I suspected as much when I saw the solicitation, but like having them in hand, like this is such a strong wave, and I recognize that for me that's some personal bias, especially again Jake the Snake being one of my personal favorite wrestlers of all time. So you know, it was guaranteed to hit for me. But I think even with Ravishing Rick Rude, who was not one of my all-time favorites, but definitely a wrestler I found interesting, like especially with their rivalry, this is just a perfect pack. So absolutely pick this up if you have any interest in Ultimate Editions. If that era of wrestling definitely appeals to you, just yeah, get it. And as of this recording, it is still available on Mattel Creations, so I will have a link in the description to where you can purchase it if you are interested. So definitely check that out. And yeah, I just want to thank you for watching. I just want to say I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all that fun stuff. And there are other ways to help the channel in the description as well. So ultra thanks to you one last time for watching. I hope to see you again because I do multiple action figure reviews during the week, at least 3, with action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more. So yeah, hope to see you back. And with all of that being said, I hope you're well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true. And most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.